Hi everyone, and welcome back to another TFT Masterclass. Today we are going to be doing the 14.11 patch rundown. This is Fit Gamer Training Grounds. Make sure to join the Discord server and comment, subscribe, etc. to get a chance to win that C9 jersey. So let's get straight into it. Today we have a couple different topics regarding the changes. First off, we'll start off with system changes. There's essentially a new Masters Plus ranked duo queue system put in place, so I'll be explaining what that is. Then we'll just go into our regular trait and unit changes along with our item plus augment changes, and then finally end off with a recap slash summary and a Q&A for anyone who is watching this live. This is basically a guide just to help you understand the new patch that came in today, May 30th, and let you know what new compositions are doing well, what compositions are not doing as well, and just any changes to any main unit comps, items, and augments. So starting off with the system changes, this only applies to Masters Plus players. Essentially, there's now a dual queue system put in place as long as the Master Plus players are within 400 LP of each other. So this is quite nice. If you're high elo or at this level, you can now dual queue with your friends instead of trying to snipe. And this basically, if you're a streamer, this can make your experience a bit more enjoyable, or if you're just high elo in general. That's the first one. That's the only system change, just kind of a quality of life thing. Moving into the traits, so we have two trait changes here, Ghostly and Trickshot. So the first one is Ghostly vertical, but the super vertical. So this is 8 Ghostly, not even 6. So this will not happen most of the time unless you have a Ghostly +2. But if you are able to get to that Ghostly +2, then you'll have a really good chance of at least top 1, top 2. The other one is going to be Trickshot. So Trickshot has now been increased for 4 Trickshot back to 55 to 60%. So if you did keep track of the patch notes, this is essentially the old patch 14.10 damage. So this is essentially just a revert. The nerf between 14.10, 14.10b, and 14.11 has just been reverted. So this is just the old Trickshot damage now. So this should bring Kaisa a little bit back into the meta, especially if you're starting from a fortune spot. So those are the only two trait changes, nothing too crazy. However, there are a good amount of unit changes. So this is the 1 and 2 cost units. I've listed the main points on the left here. So the first one is Darius and Garen got some slight nerfs. So Darius, arguably the best 1 cost unit, at least for item holding and trying to win streak early. A slight nerf to him, nothing too crazy, like 10 damage, 15 damage is nothing insane on his ability cast. However, a nerf is still a nerf. And to Garen, this is mostly, just targeting the unit in general, but this will affect his story champion by a little bit. It's no longer going to be basically an insta-win playing for top 1, top 2. Now you will have a little bit more of a window to beat him, and you will have a little bit higher of a window to lose if you are playing the Garen reroll, but nonetheless still good. The augment, I think, still averages like a 4.3. So other big changes, nothing too crazy, honestly. There's a lot of 1 cost 3-star buffs. So like Kha'Zix 3-star has been buffed for spell AD. 3-star like Sivir has been buffed. The thing is, like, you're not really trying to reroll these units anyway, at least not on the current meta. Maybe if there's another change that affects a unit of their corresponding lines, then that composition being rerolled may be applicable. But for now, you're not 3-starring Kha'Zix, you're not 3-starring Sivir. So nothing too crazy there. Yasuo has a little bit of adjustments basically now as he gets started up. Now the passive damage shield will be increased by a lot. So that's pretty good if you are rerolling Yasuo, but at the same time, kind of in the same spot as like the Kha'Zix and Sivir, you're not really rerolling Yasuo right now, but maybe this will change in the future. So those were the 3-star changes. Gnar has now a higher threshold for his max stacks. So if you are able to get hits or hit 45 times, then you will at least have more attack damage and try to like just scale throughout the fight, do more damage. So those are the like I'd say mid changes. And then our final 2 ones is another buff to Aatrox. If you remember, Aatrox actually got quite a decent rework to his kit where he moved more from just like a trait bot to more of a magic damage like caster in the front line. So now he is like casting more often, healing a little bit less but dealing more damage. So now his healing has been increased by a little bit more at the 2 and the 3-star, so that's pretty good. And then Senna 3-star has been increased as well. So major things to know about this: Darius and Garen slight nerfs. There's a lot of 3-star buffs to the 1 cost units, Gnar, Aatrox, and Senna buffs. And then one that has not been listed on the patches but is through is the Qiyana base AD has been nerfed from 55 AD to 50 AD. So this is going to target, along with the Darius nerf, the early to mid game duelists. Is not going to be as oppressive as they are currently. The stage 4 level 8 6 duelist Lee Sin board is still going to be very strong. However, getting there is going to be just a little bit harder, especially since it's the base 80 that got nerfed, and Qiyana is an insane item holder for that Lee Sin transition. So this is the first slide for the 1 and 2 cost units, and then we have the 3 all the way up to the 5 cost. A couple more 3-star changes. So Diana and Yone, they both have their 3-star versions buffed, where Diana now has an extra 5% DR if you already 3-star her, and a little bit of on-hit damage. Pretty good. Same thing right now. You're not really 3-starring your Diana unless you're playing like a Zoe Diana reroll with Store Weavers. Then you are able to do that and have a little bit of a stronger tank. In that case, you'll definitely be itemizing your Diana 3 over your Annie 2 in that composition. For Yone, the 3-star version, a little bit more of an ability shield, and the ability damage is a little bit more. But once again, Yone not that great in the meta right now. The shield is nice, and the ability damage is okay. It's 5%, and most of the damage from Yone comes from his auto attacks anyway, not his initial cast. Kane has 50 more HP, pretty good. Nothing too crazy there. Nals has a little bit of a larger mana pool, so we'll need 1 extra auto attack, or it just needs to be hit a little bit more to get that second cast in. Most of the time, Nals will cast once, but now this will make it harder for Nals to cast the second time. The main change on this, at least this slide, is going to be the Cinder change. So you might be wondering, like, how does this affect you, right? We're going from 7 to 6 orbs from the initial cast, or even before the initial cast. This is just the starting orbs. However, the spell damage gets increased. So after listening to Mort Dog and just like running through it, this is a Syndra buff in general, mostly for the 2-star, however. So by the 1-star version, her 4th cast is going to be a buff. Technically, I think the first 2 casts are going to be nerfed, and the 3rd cast is about neutral. However, if you have a 2-star Syndra, then her second cast is going to be at least buffed, and then from second onwards is going to be dealing more damage. So if you're playing Syndra, as long as the fight is going on for at least like 10-15 seconds minimum, you're not getting absolutely decimated within the first couple seconds, then your Syndra will be doing more damage relative to the previous patch. And if you have a Syndra 2, then you'll be dealing more damage basically right off the bat. So that essentially encompasses what the Syndra changes. So now the Faded Dryad Syndra comp already doing quite well because it is the #1 counter towards the Duelist with all that single target burst damage. Now is going to be doing even better now that the Duelist comp got nerfed a little bit, at least in the mid game, and Syndra is stronger. Last but not least, we have a little bit of a Lysandra buff. Lysandra just not that great of a unit anymore, no longer able to throw units, and a little bit of damage. Hopefully, if you get her early, maybe on stage 7, that damage will help you farm an extra item component, but you'll take Lysandra out of your board afterwards. So those are all the unit changes. Moving on to the items now, one of the new artifacts has been enabled. So Cursed Blade, this was talked about at the very start but never got implemented until now. It gives you 15 attack speed and 20 magic resist. The main effect of this item is essentially, once you put it on your units, the unit's attacks will reduce the target's max health by 3%. And then once you get 13 attacks on the same targets, it will reduce their star level by 1. So you would want to be putting this item on units that attack a lot. I'm assuming you're going to be wanting to put this on like Ashe with like a Rage Blade +1. And it's best at killing. The purpose of the item is really good at killing, or at least helping you kill super tanks. So super tanks are like your 3-star Tahm Kenches, is going to be, honestly, that's about it. 3-star Tahm Kenches, maybe like 3-star 1-cost Cho'Gath with 3 items. Any super tanks you're able to whittle down a lot, especially once you get up to that 13 attack stack. Or super like drain tank melees, and this is going to be like your 2-star Lee Sin with like double healing, shielding, etc. So Cursed Blade is really going to help you out in these compositions where normally you would have a pretty hard time just whittling away at these like super tanks or super drain tanks. Now you'll have an easier time killing them once you have this, if you have this item. And then other ones, Diamond Hands was the best performing artifact, 100 health plus. Moonstone Renewer has been nerfed, both the shield and the max shield. And then Needlessly Gem has a little bit more HP, but I don't think Needlessly Big Gem is going to be back in the meta, or at least a good item. So good thing to know, or important thing to know about this slide, Cursed Blade is here now and able to be played. And then also there are some artifact and support nerfs. The best artifact and the best support got nerfed. All right, moving on, we have our augment changes. So quite a few here. I'll just run through the beginning. Cybernetic Bolt and Uplink at all ranks can no longer appear on 2-1. This is very good for just all players. This augment was not good on stage 2. You just don't have enough item components to make good use of the HP or the mana from spreading. So that's really good. Couple ones. The build different last nerf got reverted. So now with the new values, the HP and attack speed are higher. This is pretty good. Grim Harvest. Now you get a Yone instead of a Kindred. I don't think this will affect that much. Remember, the Yone buff was only to the 3-star version, and then a little bit of Omnivamp per stack just brings this augment and comp in general from being one of the worst to just a little bit better. And then some of the best gold augments were nerfed. Lucky Paws, the 1-cost hero augment, was too insane. The Koboko one, too healthy as well. Now has 9 HP less per 2 cost on your board. And then Vulnerable Piggy Bank is going down to 2 gold. If you got Vulnerable Piggy Bank on stage 2, then you would just be essentially making 5 gold every round and being able to go like fast 9 or roll a little bit early on level 8 and then go 9. It was too broken, so now you'll just be able to get 4 gold maximum from a loss. For the prismatics, basically the prismatic crowns now provide better / more units. So Dragonlord crown will give you a Janet and a Diana. So now at least you get 3. If you are able to get this on 2-1, then you can have 3 Dragonlord on 2-1, which is not bad, honestly. Once you get a Lee Sin, you get 4. Porcelain crown also now grants you an Amumu instead of a Lux, and Amumu is just a much higher quality unit than Lux, at least early game. And then Final Ascension no longer appears on 2-1, kind of the same thing as Bulk and Uplink. You're not able to make good use of this that early into the game. So essentially just a lot of quality of life changes. Things that were too strong got nerfed, things that were not that strong got buffed, and then augments that you did not want to see on 2-1, you can now no longer see on 2-1. So pretty good changes. Just summing everything up, today was a relatively small patch. It's going to be like a 12-minute video. Main points: Ghostly reroll / the 8 vertical got buffed a little bit. Now we'll be doing a little bit better. The Reaper augment, Reaper units, that whole package got buffed as well, but I believe it's still not strong. The 1-cost hero augments got nerfed. Remember, Garen got that 10 extra mana nerf. Nothing too crazy, still playable, especially if you have early copies of Garen and an item to slam on him on 2-1. However, the 1-cost hero augments are now no longer an insta-take. There are Syndred buffs, especially to 2-star, artifacts / support item balancing, and then last but not least, some augment balancing and some quality of life. So that has been everything for today. Quite a small patch. I don't think too much has changed. Definitely try it out and let me know how your games go. That's everything for today. We'll have another video in a few days. And thanks for watching. Take care.